we are back. My bad.
No, you're good.
Thank y'all for everybody that tuned in to our first part of sorry. Sorry. We took a little break just now. I grabbed some food and I rushed it and it's too hot and it burnt my mouth trying to talk. Thank y'all to everybody that watched the first part of our latest episode, talking about all the NFL things that just went down, football, and just in general, all that's going on in recent weeks. We are still back with more things to discuss, though, for a second part of our first episode of season 3 of Second 300. Thank you guys for tuning back in. Again, make sure you follow us online everywhere. IG and TikTok, Section 300. Twitter, Section 300 Sports. Follow me at Just Say Gene, Alec Lakers Fan 24. And now, like I said, we discussed all the NFL things. We're back to discuss the NBA things. And of course, as you see behind Alec, we got to talk about all the Laker things going on right now. Lakers, it's been a minute. Let's talk about them. And we marked Christmas as the time period for things starting to get serious. That's when we can start really evaluating this squad and seeing what the true potential of this team can be. We let all the kinks get worked out for the first 20 games of the season. Once Christmas hit, it's time to go. And we hit Christmas, and there's still a lot of them kinks. There's a lot of wrinkles there that still got to be worked out. A lot of room to improve. There are some injuries. AD is out, and we've been still getting got acclimated and all of that. But to be honest, it's not really an excuse to me for what I've seen on the court. There are some things that I feel like greatly need to be improved upon. And I definitely want to hear what you think about this Lakers squad now post Christmas, as we now things should be going to be gearing up.
Yeah, what I was going to say is basically like this team is mid, but it has the potential to be a very good team. Like we have the pieces to be a contender. Of course, Anthony Davis being one of the major ones who hasn't played in several weeks, but right now we're mid. Like to start the season, I'd say we were a bad team. Like because bad teams lose to bad teams, and we were losing to below 500 teams. Now we've at least cleaned that up to where we're beating the bad teams, but we're struggling against those teams that could potentially be contenders, like a Memphis Grizzlies. So I was happy to finally get kind of a win streak. We had a 4-game win streak going into the Grizzlies game. Disappointing effort in that Grizzlies game, but still, like that doesn't wipe away the progress that we had made. I think right now they're 1 game above 500, if I remember correctly, like 21 and 20. So right smack dab halfway through the season. Mid is what I said. Like their record is mid as well too. I think if we continue to build on the good progress that we've made, and with whether scheme wise, as far as more LeBron at the 5 lineups and opening up the floor for Russ and THT.
That's not a long-term thing though.
Not long-term, because hopefully you plug in AD at that 5, but you still keep it open. And then as well as what was I about to say? I'm blanking. But just I think I was just gonna say, like, getting Anthony Davis back. I think we can get to. It seems like the Grizzlies are pretty solidified at 4, but I think we can get to a 5 seed. And I would be happy. I'm happy 6 and up. Like I'm happy out of the play-in range. It's kind of disappointing to be talking like this again, like I was last season, because we thought with the addition of Russ, he'd kind of be able to manage and like hold down the fort when one of LeBron or AD was out. It hasn't quite played out that way, and I wouldn't fully like. I'll say this: the Russell Westbrook criticism is like, it brings out the stupid in people. Like it's some of the worst, definitely worse than like the Lamar Jackson takes we were talking about. It's like some of the worst like criticism I've ever seen of a player, especially of his caliber. Who's like a legitimate first ballot Hall of Famer. But even with that, like I can be critical of Russ too. Like he's gotten better as far as not turning the ball over as much, but I think with that he's become like a little bit less aggressive and taking more shots that aren't really quite his shots. He hasn't been shooting the ball well of late, and defensively is really like where the main issue is for me. Because I'm okay when he's turning the ball over, but also creating for others.
Mm-hmm.
The turnover talk is the stupid media-driven narratives.
Yeah.
But I just want him to be more defensively like inclined, and maybe he can't fully get there. I don't know, but it seems like sometimes he's not fully engaged. He'll miss assignments defensively. But it's a little bit disappointing, I'll say, just that we are still talking about like staying out of the play-in at this point. Like we thought we'd be a top 3 seed or so, which we still can be come playoff time, but it's looking like this regular season we're going to be in the 4 to 6 range.
Yeah. As I mentioned, I said early on in the season, it's okay for us to be bad as we were, because we had a very new roster and guys working out all their finding their spots and whatever. Yeah. Now post Christmas, when it's time to gear up, we're seeing teams now start to gear up. The Grizzlies are gearing up. The Warriors now with Clay back seem to be ready to gear up, and others. I feel like we're still in the same spot as we were at the beginning of the season. We're still have guys trying to find their spots, and Russ trying to figure out how to connect, how to play alongside LeBron, and for him to take over at times when we would like him to, but he hasn't just yet. And when he does, there are other turnovers and things that people are critical of. Well, I'm not as critical as those. They are there still. So there is room for them to improve. The role players are still finding their spots. THT has been hit or miss. Malik Monk has elevated his play recently, but we would like to hopefully that stays around for the long run. And obviously, as you mentioned, the big piece of it all, AD hopefully comes back and is a little bit more influential than he was early on in the season. So right now, we're a 7 seed, playing like a 7 seed. As you said, we'd be up on the teams below us, but it was hard for us to beat the teams above us. So I really hope that more adjustments are made in the sense of just guys just putting guys in better position to be who they are. I feel like we're still asked. There's still a big demand for some folks, and while you understand with AD out, LeBron should not be the one that's doing everything for this squad. I feel like there are. That's more so what I was trying to say. Actually, there's an elevated play that needs to be made. And LeBron is elevating his play. Malik Monk is a little bit. But I feel like the rest of the guys are still mediocre or mid, however you want to describe them. That there's room for guys to improve that they are not making right now. Man, it's annoying a lot of folks, and that's why you have some of the over dramatic folks as they are, or the realists here who still look at it and say that there needs to be an improvement on how you want to describe it. So I think the team just needs to be better, and I hope that they flip that switch sooner rather than later. So, we definitely shall see how they handle that. With that, we're now a month away from the trade deadline. They've been talking all season long about trades that could possibly be made. Jeremy Grant still is a name that gets thrown out a lot. Ben Simmons is a name that's now been added to the mix, as well as a name not of the same caliber, but could still be influential in a name like Gary Trent Jr., who now is being mentioned as a trade piece. I don't know how we get any of these guys. I think there are other teams with better offers looking beyond the Lakers. I know Lakers think we can get everybody, but looking at beyond the Lakers, there are teams that, if those guys are available, can send out better packages. But do you think, whether it's them or others, trades need to be made, or this team can be the team that makes a push to the title?
I'm interested to see when we can get AD back, because I would like to see this team just fully healthy as is with AD and Kendrick Nunn, because I think Kendrick Nunn also helps slot guys back into their more natural positions as well too. So I'd love to see if we're getting an inspired AD back from injury and a good Kendrick Nunn healthy. I'd love to see how the team plays like that, because we may not need to make a move, to be honest. There's, like you said, there's a lot of overreaction always. It's the Lakers. It's the Lakers, it's LeBron, and it's Russ. So you get like the most scrutinized team of all time. And even with that, it's like you forget that while we're not a top 3 seed, like they're still in the playoff mix. Like they get talked about like they're at the bottom of the West. They're still right there. In that
a game behind Mavericks, and we're in the 5 seed. So
exactly.
Now there's a big gap between them and the 4, but
Right,
the
because
5
the
seeds,
Grizzlies
yeah,
prior to them going on that
5 seeds
10-game
very
win
attainable.
streak,
Yeah,
and looking like they're potentially right outside of that contender mix.
yep,
So definite credit to Memphis there. But yeah, if we were to make a move, I think it would have to be at the wing position.
mm-hmm.
No shot at Melo, but Melo's not really that guy for us. Like on a nightly basis, he'll give you a boost on some nights with his
Right.
outside shooting, but as a defender, not quite that at his age. So if we could get a Jeremy
not in
Grant,
a big role. If he's coming off the bench still with somebody more solidified now, great. But having him as somewhat of a key contributor still, yeah. So as you're saying, we can't rely on him like that.
Right. You shouldn't need to. Then you're in a crunch kind of. So yeah, I think Jeremy Grant would obviously I think be the best looking proposition for me.
Yeah.
I put next to Gary Trent. Why? I don't understand getting another small guard.
Yeah, I think with Malik Monk's improved play, he can now fill that role that Gary Trent might have came in and did.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think he's the right piece either.
Yeah. I think there was some talk about Indiana Pacers pieces. I guess that depends on AD's health because I'd be interested in Miles Turner, but not if AD's fully healthy. I don't love that Twin Towers look, especially with Russ and THT already struggling like with limited spacing.
Yeah.
He can kind of space the floor a little bit, but he's not a great 3-point shooter, Miles Turner. So yeah, Jeremy Grant would be the guy. And to your question, I think THT has to be a part of any trade of significant value. And then probably Kendrick Nunn, which would suck because we haven't really got much out of him. We haven't got anything out of him yet. I think those two would have to be included. Picks, perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, I think they'd be the centerpieces of any trade.
Mm-hmm.
People throw out Russell Westbrook. I don't see him getting traded, at least not this season.
No.
I don't see that happening. And I don't want it to happen. Like I still think we can be successful with him. So
yeah, I know that there's layered bias that plays into it, but having a team with LeBron, AD, and Russ, there still is very high potential, even with how we've looked so far. So I know I set Christmas as the marker for the time for things to be changed, but the reality is there's still a lot of games left to be played. And while we'd have liked for the turn to be starting to be made now, we haven't just yet, but I do think it's still possible, and we can still push up in this conference and make a nice run in the playoffs and potentially still find a way to make some real noise this year. So I think the roster still can't work as is. There just needs to be guys that understand that they need to step it up for real, or it could get ugly as it already kind of is. So yeah, hopefully the adjustments are made. But yeah, that's it for the Lakers right now. Now looking beyond the Lakers, staying in LA just first. The Clippers were a squad that maybe with the Lakers kind of fluttering as we are right now could have capitalized and claimed LA for a moment as they like they think they do. But now the two guys that were supposed to be at the head of that, Kawhi already was out for the season and potentially coming back, but he's not going to come back if Paul George is out. And Paul George is out and potentially done for the season as well with the injury. I forgot exactly what he has, but they're saying he could be done. And now, yet again, the Clippers have fallen apart. So
they beat the Nuggets last night. I'll say that they're still an incredibly well-coached team.
Yeah, hey, Clippers, stop doing that. Go ahead and tank. Go ahead and tank. There's some. I haven't watched a whole lot of college basketball this year, but there's a lot of nice pieces I'm seeing. A lot of wings and things, whatever. In this draft, I think that'll be coming up. Go ahead and fall out the playoffs, get you a nice pick, and retool so Kawhi and PG have to have their guys going forward. There's no need. Don't blow this and try to push.
They got some young guys that are fairly talented already between Brandon Boston and Terrence Mann. They had Amir Coffey go off last night.
Are they winning a championship this year?
No, not at all. I'm just talking about you're talking about young talent. Like I think they do have some young guys to build around in the future.
I know. I'm just saying if there's a chance to really add to that and bolster that, I would say go ahead and fall in the draft and get a piece to make them even more of a threat going forward.
Yeah. So, if neither PG or Kawhi is coming back, absolutely,
yeah. So Oh well for y'all, but it's nothing new with the Clippers, so it is what it is. Now beyond that, we talked about with the Lakers some trades that may be on the table. Ben Simmons was a name we mentioned. He's still his rumors are floating around him all the time. He's out and about with his new fiance and things. Happy, I hope at least. But on the court,
worry about the wrong ring.
I guess, but yeah, on the court, people still want to see what he can do. Do you think he ends up getting traded at the deadline, or is he going to just be stuck in waiting in Philadelphia?
It appears that Daryl Morey is sticking to his word of he'll sit years for this if he doesn't get what he wants back value-wise. Mm-hmm. I think he needs to temper still his expectations for what he can get value-wise for Ben. Because I've seen names that I think are legitimate names that are like reasonable for in return for Ben, but Daryl Morey is like, nah, basically wants a all-star caliber wing, I guess.
And while I do get that, at the same time, I know he wants to stand firm on his word about holding on to Ben and figuring it out, or unless he's getting a big haul, not trading him. But the reality is, when Joel is out here hooping as he is, when you're the guy that's entering or in his prime, however you want to describe it right now, you got to capitalize on this moment. And Ben clearly is, with him not being available, is not allowing this team to capitalize on the moment as they could. And while other guys elevate their play a little bit, having a piece like him that could get you a guy in return that could really boost you guys and get them into serious contention, I think that move needs to be made. So I know that they're the 5th seed. And I think that's pretty accurate with a potential. People could say the Cavs, who are looking real nice, could be a even bigger threat than they are. So who are right behind them. So I think the Sixers definitely need to figure something out with that situation. They've won 7 straight, which is very impressive and commendable. But I think that if you can add a piece to help them, I think in the playoffs. I know there are rumors of them shopping Tobias Harris as well. I think you can. Well, I don't think you can get rid of both of those guys. If you can get rid of one or the other to pair with Joel to really make this push, I think the move needs to be made. So there needs to be some kind of shift there.
For sure.
So that's Ben. We mentioned Jeremy Grant. Any other names you could see? Any big names you could see being moved in the near future? Do you think we see anything new on Dame?
That's the thing with Dame. He's out for a significant time as well. So I don't know. Neither Dame nor CJ really can be moved right now with their health status.
Someone that's healthy, Brandon Ingram.
That's what I was just going to say.
Giving
Brandon
Ingram acknowledgement.
I've been pounding that Brandon Ingram to Cleveland trade drum.
Yeah. That's the one, honestly. If that trade gets done, Cleveland makes a big jump, I think. But I don't know if that can be worked out for both teams properly. So we'll call it 6 and out, and I think that may hinder the trade. So, for now, I don't know. But Brandon Ingram needs to be freed. I have mentioned that I follow the Kings a little bit. The Kings need to just blow it up. Like, enough's enough. Like, this just is not exclusive at all.
Beyond that, I think it's an executive problem. Like, it's an organization.
Wow, I understand. People have talked about that. It's an executive thing. The executives are standing firm on wherever they're standing firm on, and it's not working. So the thing that could be changed from their perspective is the players, and the players aren't in sync either. So go ahead and free these guys. Marvin Bagley has had his moments, but he has been wanting to be there one moment and wants to be gone the next. De'Aaron Fox is fed up with the situation. Buddy Hield was gone.
The Lakers better beat the brakes off them tonight.
I hope so. But the Kings also put a good fight against the Lakers every time as well.
Every time.
It's possible that it goes the other way. But even if the Kings do win this game, that does not mean that your future is still solidified and you stick with this team. This team,
we've seen enough.
Everybody's seen enough. I think sadly they have peaked already. I don't think we're the 12 seed right now. They may sneak into the 10th seed with the Portland falling and the Spurs falling maybe, but even then they're not. I don't think they're getting into the playoffs beyond that. So there's no point continuing to float around the middle like this. Go ahead and tank or use pieces because you have good pieces there. They just don't work together. So go ahead and trade them pieces for some guys that can rebuild this team into a team that can actually be a real threat in this league rather continue to be not a laughing stock because people don't acknowledge him enough to be a laughing stock, but continue to be irrelevant in the league as they've been for so long. So things changes need to be made. So that's definitely my take on it. So we'll see what they do. But on the flip side, it seemed that was at the bottom with them for a while, but flipped. The Grizzlies, as we acknowledge, the Grizzlies are back up now. Top 4 seed in the West. Is Ja in MVP discussions?
Absolutely.
How do you feel about this Grizzlies squad right now on this 10-game winning streak they're on?
Yeah, he's absolutely an MVP discussion. Wouldn't be leading it. There's a couple of guys firmly ahead of him between Steph, Giannis, Jokic.
Yep.
KD probably. DeMar probably. But definitely in that conversation, having that young Memphis team on a 10-game win streak, 4th seed in the West, which is a considerably tough conference, even though there are teams struggling.
Right.
The top 4 teams are really good in that West. So I definitely commendable. Ja's been playing at an MVP level. Should definitely be an All-Star this year.
Yep. Agreed.
And it's impressive. I didn't expect them to make this type of leap this year. It makes sense. I mean, what is this? Their third? This is his 3rd season, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense to have found your footing now. I think for me, I had hesitancy because of Jaren Jackson's inconsistency, but he's been really good this year as well too.
Finally, I had high hopes for him as well, and I'm glad he's clicking a little bit now. So
and I think Desmond Bane has been a huge factor as well. Definitely. He's been really good, really solid 2nd-year player.
On him, real quick. How you feel about him tripping at Bron the other day?
Oh, I don't mind it. Bron kind of a bitch for that. Like,
I
didn't mad.
2 days ago or 2 days before that,
I'm chirping at the Kings.
At the Kings, and then when you clap back at him, he wants to say, "Humble yourself." No, you can't. You can't have it both ways, fam.
Kind of a sore loser at times.
And I like when the young guys poke at the top dogs. So especially when they're actually the top dogs themselves right now. Go ahead and talk your stuff. So I definitely applaud him for that. And Bron, I don't like the front running he does and then the backtracking he does when he's on the opposite side. So
I will say, if they did something like if they met in the playoffs 4 or 5, healthy AD, I like the Lakers' chances. But
that'd be a very fun. That'd be a very fun series. I like that a lot.
I actually love to see that. Even if the Lakers did end up losing, that'd be a great series.
Right.
But very impressive. Made the leap when I didn't think they were quite ready to make that leap. I think there was one other player that I was going to touch on. Not a player specifically, but just that Ja was out like 6 games or so, and they continued to win without him on the floor. And he came back, and they just continued humming. So, I mean, this has been an impressive team. They play hard. They're not quite like the grit and grind Grizzlies anymore, but they do out physical a lot of opponents.
Squad has that, but the whole squad isn't fully that way.
But they still have a physical style of play and really get into you defensively, and they play hard. So they're a fun team to watch in that way.
Definitely deserves acknowledgement. Ja definitely is in the All-Star and should be in the MVP discussions right now. I know it's early, but at least for the moment, he's putting MVP numbers up every night and deserves that praise. So salute to them. Also, right below them in the standings, the Mavericks are quietly on a 6-game winning streak themselves. People have talked about how Luka might be turning into overrated and things of that nature, or whatever the case. But I think this is a lot better than I thought they'd be this year. I thought they're going to be low. I'm just saying, I think you predicted that as well. So just a little acknowledgement to them as well for what they're doing right now. So good things across the league. Going back to the Grizzlies, though, we talked about our contenders for the league right now, or we talked about it early on. We are top 5. Are the Blues in the top 5 contenders of the league right now, or no?
I think they're just on the outside looking in for me.
Okay. Who's above them then?
For sure, the Warriors. For sure, the Nets. For sure, the Bucks. I'd probably give those last 2 spots to the Bulls and the Suns. It's hard for me to call the Suns a contender. I think they have to be just because of last year getting to the finals and they are still a really good team. I don't legitimately see the Suns winning this year. I think there's better teams than them, but record-wise, I'd have to put them above the Grizzlies as well too. Just they have a little bit more veteran experience.
Yeah.
And I think if it came down to a series, like that's actually, I was gonna say they have the best players in the series, but that's actually a good question. The way Ja's been playing, I think Ja might be the best player in that series if they played the Suns. So yeah, Suns and Grizzlies, I guess, could fight it out for that 5th contender spot for me right now.
Are the Heat there at all? I don't know if you mentioned them.
I think I had them in there when we last talked, but Jimmy Butler's been in and out of the lineup a lot, health-wise.
They're still third in the East.
As well as Bam. So I'm just a little bit worried about them health-wise. Fully healthy, yeah, probably.
Okay. You're on your Stephen A, your fluid list right now? Is that what you're on?
Yes. I'm on a fluid list right now.
That's fine. I'll say, I guess I'll have to put some caveat on it. Right, same kind of thing. Right now, I wouldn't mind that. I could say they're in the top 5. Yeah.
Notice how I omitted the Jazz, who I think are number 3.
Yeah, we both. We no longer acknowledge them. They no longer have to have any kind of saving.
You no longer have a tie there with
we know how it ties there, so we can get back to our hate train. But I think that the Grizzlies are more of a threat than they are. And for right now. So we'll see how things continue to go. But I have them. I put them at 5 for the moment. Just because of the Heat's inconsistent health things, as you mentioned as well. Same kind of thing where it's like, what did you say? Warriors, Nets, Suns.
Nets, Bucks.
Oh, with the Bulls are there too. Bulls and then Grizzlies then. So there's 6. There's 6. So that's outside as well. But definitely deserve to be acknowledged because they have beat some real good teams in this last month as well. The Lakers kind of count, but not really. I think, and I think they beat the Warriors too as well. So they have some good wins on their record. Obviously, the Lakers, where they play down, when we play bad against good teams, they step up their play when it's time to go. So definitely deserve acknowledgement and salute to them for that. So that's that. Another team we already mentioned is the Nets, and with them they got Kyrie back. At least kind of. Kyrie's back as a part-time player playing away games, but they also now just added that he may actually get a chance to play full-time. They're willing to pay a fine of like $5,000 for home games, which for NBA folks is nothing. So he could be around for the long run as he held out hoping to do, and he's getting his wish. And so, how do you see this Nets squad?
Yeah, I mean, with him, a definite contender. Without him, a fringe contender. Same issue though is the defensive element. Like when it comes down to a playoff series, one of the most high-powered offenses of all time with KD, Kyrie, and then Harden. But when it comes down to it in a playoff series, will they be able to lock up the Giannis's? Will they be able to lock up Levine and DeMar? Will they be able to lock up if it came down to a final series with Steph and Clay and Draymond, or LeBron, Russ, and AD?
Right.
I'm probably going to favor other teams slightly above them because of that in those late playoff series. So definite contenders, but still have my questions about the team.
Yeah, and I think we questioned their defense early on in the season, or maybe that was last year, but we had a couple discussions about them and their defense, and I definitely understand that. But I think really it's just more health. If they're healthy, I think they'll figure it out. So I think James Harden has had.
They play the Bulls tonight, so it'd be a nice test.
They'll have a good matchup. But if they stay healthy, I think they can beat anybody. And I'm looking forward to see hopefully them all playing together and going forward. So good stuff there. And that's all I really got right now for the NBA. You have anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think we're good.
Cool. All right, so that's all NBA stuff. Real quick, I saw you wanted to talk about the college basketball. You want to mention those 3 squads you put on there real quick? Yeah,
just because all 3 of our teams are top 6 right now. Yep. We got UCLA at number 3, USC at number 5, highest since 1974, which is dope. And then Arizona is at number 6. I got a chance to see them play. We talked about they look really good to me as well. So great for the Pac-12 as well. All 3 of those schools, Pac-12 schools.
Love to see it.
Some good basketball on the way. The Arizona games with UCLA and USC got postponed due to COVID. So I think those are getting rescheduled soon. So these teams will actually get to play each other a few times in the coming few weeks. So those will be some real good games. Might have to catch one of them.
I haven't watched a whole lot of college basketball early on. I said I would, but life goes on, and I haven't got a chance to. But we're about 2 months out from March Madness. Yep. Last year, I didn't watch any college basketball, and I was just throwing darts at the wall, putting a bracket together. This year, I think right now is when we'll start watching, and we'll see how that influences my picks going forward. So I'll be tuned into all 3 of our squads, or 2 of my squads and your squad, USC and Arizona.
Right.
And I might check out UCLA a little bit too, as they're the highest ranked of the 3. Congrats for now. And it should be a real fun, and we'll see how it all rounds out in the tournament. So looking forward to all of that. We'll say it now, I guess. If you guys want to, we'll have a public NCAA tournament bracket for you guys to join us in. We'd love to have followers and all of that join us and competing to put the best bracket together once the tournament comes around. So looking forward to all of that. And just fun stuff across the board, all sports, or for most of them. And I say that because that's what we talk about is MLB. MLB is still in their lockout right now, trying to put things together. If you guys got paid right before, so they're at home chilling regardless of what's going on. But the whole league still is trying to figure out when they're going to be on the diamond again. So what do you think is going? What do you think about this whole lockout right now?
Yeah, I think the season is scheduled to start like March 31st or something like that, and spring training is supposed to be late February.
Right.
So hopefully this contract negotiation period gets ironed out swiftly and finish put an end to this lockout and get more contracts on the way, because the free agency period isn't over, but it had to stop due to the lockout. So I know our Dodgers were potentially eyeing Freddie Freeman and others as well. And we got some things to figure out if we want to get back to World Series contention. So hopefully they get this settled soon. Like I said, they have a meeting tomorrow, a meeting Thursday, and hopefully things get ironed out and we can get some baseball back on schedule.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get back to it. Like I said, I got to a game last year. It was very fun. We'll get back to some more. If y'all locked out, can't do that. So you got to make sure everything's all straightened away. And everything can get rolling as it should. So hopefully all works itself out as need be. So that's it for the MLB. I don't even have anything else sports-wise to address, but there are some other things that are going on that I want to talk about real quick. First off, we just watched the Euphoria is back, and I really enjoyed that. So, how you feel about Nate getting that ass beaten?
Yeah, no, it started off with a bang, literally the vodka bottle across his head. That was a great start to the season. Still same tense atmosphere that show always has, but a lot of entertaining storylines, and I'm excited to see where it goes first. The preview for the rest of the season looked crazy too, so I'm looking forward to it.
All I gotta say, I one of the other shows I watched during this little break we had, I watched BMF and really enjoyed what Lil Meech did on that show. So we're gonna go from that to him. They had him kind of like a cornball this first episode. I didn't like how he looked cool. I was like, all right, they got the look down. They didn't try to change him up completely and let him kind of stay as he is. But the way he was talking, I'm like, I don't think you think like highest, bro. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah. So hopefully they don't keep him corny the whole time. But,
before I forget, too, Sydney Sweeney is special.
She's an asshole, but yeah, she's special. I understand. Yeah. Got some work to do, but she's a great talent. Yeah, that's a very fun show. Really be enjoying that. HBO's on a roll, honestly, as they always are. Yeah, before that was on, I finished up. I binged all of Curb Your Enthusiasm, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I got hooked on that and watched the whole thing through.
Crazy with that.
It's not right where I'm at, but it's close enough. I can see some things, be like, oh, I know where that is. It'd be in Santa Monica and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I recognize that, whatever. So that was cool. Just the show itself was great. Larry David is
He's hilarious, bro.
He's hilarious. So we enjoyed that. Him and JB Smoove are an amazing 1-2 punch. So and definitely enjoyed that. Also, there's another show, not fully like Euphoria, but younger type folks in the business world, like they trying to just climb the ranks or whatever. Called Industry. Just found that on HBO as well.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
I think I sent you a tweet about that or whatever, but I checked it out. Actually, pretty good. Also, Southside on HBO is good as well. Really been enjoying that. So yeah, HBO is killing it show wise. If you need anything to watch, just turn that on. Plenty of good things.
The Lakers show coming in March too.
Yeah, and another one coming in March and all of that. So they're going to keep things rolling. Other stations or whatever you want to call it, other apps are trying to keep
streaming
up.
Services.
Yeah. Peacock is coming back with a new Fresh Prince show. That is pretty interesting. They're going in a completely different direction from the original. It's not going to be fully a comedy like we remember the original classic to be. It's going to be a dramatic type show, kind of not fully like Euphoria, but in the same realm it seems though. Just in the sense of it's a lot more serious than folks had expected it to be. So how you feel about the new direction? How you feel about the trailers you've seen so far and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to it. Like you said, it's completely different direction, completely different tone than the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air series. I think, I think I'd give it a shot. Like it being on Peacock, like I said, kind of turns me off a little bit because I don't really go on Peacock like that. But I think it's potentially worth a shot. It kind of gives me the same vibes, I guess, as like an All-American in a sense. And it's on network television too, so it might have some of that cheesiness to the storylines or corniness or whatever you want to call it. But
to that point,
earnest message. What?
Yeah, to that point, real quick though, I talked to you about All American a long while ago and talked to you about how the show itself was pretty good, but the football, that part annoyed me. So if this is just All American without the football, I'm all in. I don't need the sports part. They get that part right. So that works for me.
Yeah. I'll have to hear from others how they like it first before checking it out because I'm not rushing to Peacock.
Right.
Maybe if it was on Netflix or something, I might. But
hopefully somebody says it's good. So we shall see.
Yeah.
Staying with the movies and shows and things, a movie that we're looking forward to. Batman just got announced that's going to be having a PG-13 rating, and that gave me a little bit of cause for concern at first. But then, as you pointed out, Dark Knight, which is the classic trilogy that we all loved with Christian Bale and all of that, that was PG-13 the whole way through as well. So they do have the range to still keep it dark as we hoped it would be. I guess it just won't have the cussing to an extreme or whatever. But I think it'll still be very good.
Batman shirt on right now.
You ready for it already? And so am I. When it first was announced, there were a lot of folks still holding on to Christian Bale. There are a few folks that were saying, "Oh, Ben Affleck was a great portrayal. Leave him as it." But I think the guy that they have for it,
Pattinson.
Pattinson. I think he's going to do a really good job.
I think so.
I've seen all that, seeing really good, and I'm all in for it. So definitely excited for that when it comes out. So how you feel? I mean, you gotta get the shirt stuff, but you excited for it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm in on Robert Pattinson as well too. I've seen him outside of the Twilight realm, and in Tenet he was great. This other A24 movie, Good Time, is amazing as well too. So I've seen his acting range, and I think he'll be great in it. The trailers have all been phenomenal for Batman as well too.
I love how it seems. So
it's a loaded cast, and looks like the tone is perfect for it as well. So I'm excited for it for sure.
And as I said, I know we all hold on to the guys of the past, but it's okay to have new guys in the costume and do a great job. As we also saw, which we forgot to talk about, Spiderman. Spiderman did that perfectly. We had our old guy, Peter Parker McGuire, did a great job, but also Andrew Garfield showed up. And hey, listen, if this is a spoiler still at this point, that's on you.
I was going to say, we're already a month past it coming out.
That's on you. That's on you. Spoiler alert, whatever. But I loved how Spider-Man brought all the guys together. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Great movie. I'm not even going to go to that part. But I really enjoyed it. And Alec, what did you think of Spider-Man now that we're past it?
Yeah, no, I loved it. It lived up to the hype, which the hype train and the hype machine was immense behind it.
Rare.
So for it to live up to the hype is an accomplishment in itself. I thought it completely met expectations as far as the nostalgia aspect of it, and I didn't think it really like distracted from it. I thought it like helped move the plot forward.
Did you have a good crowd when you watched it? In the sense of
I
were there a
did.
lot of action?
Because I saw it like Friday, like
Right.
the actual day it came out,
Right.
like not the night showing on Thursday, but
Right.
it was like a full, and I saw it like in XD, so
Nice.
it was a massive theater and pretty full theater,
Yep.
and everybody was like losing their minds. Like they
Yeah.
started losing their mind when like Daredevil came on screen. I was like, okay, I see what time this crowd is on.
Yeah,
Like,
same. Yeah.
yeah. So the crowd atmosphere was definitely a major part of it. Definitely one of the better theater experiences I've had as far as movies go.
I
Up
agree.
there with Infinity War. I'd still say Infinity War was a better movie, but it was like if you're out of 100, it was high 90s. It was like 93 or so for me. Like I really enjoyed it.
Good.
So, yeah.
So you didn't give it perfect 100. That's gonna go to my next question. Do you have any gripes about the movie? Like anything you didn't like about it?
I didn't really have major gripes. Like I could see that the story is not super strong in terms of like Doctor Strange said, he could have just made a call like to the college instead of having to do this whole spell and that kind of thing. But I didn't mind like how it played out and like because it was a vehicle for like the other villains to come back and the other Spider-Man to come back. So I didn't really mind it from that standpoint.
To that point, it was funny that it seemed like it low-key was a bad script where they just tried to put in things so they could get what the fans wanted, but they also acknowledged it at the same time. Like they also like they had Doctor Strange say, "You don't gotta do all this about the college."
Right? You didn't make a call.
Yeah, call. Ain't that's serious. Or with Spider with all him trying to like save the villains and stuff. I think they even acknowledged like, why are you doing this? They like poked at it and things like that. Right. So I like how they even in things that that didn't really make sense, like they acknowledge themselves, like, oh well, Peter just is a good guy, so
right.
He wants to fix them. He has a way. So I'm glad. I'm fine with how they
Strange was like, get these bozos out of here.
Right, let them go. Like we have no ties to them at all. Just let them go.
Yeah.
But Pete tried to do what he did, and I think in the end, as everybody acknowledged, we realized that this first trilogy was all meant to just be a coming of age for Peter and becoming the Spider-Man that we all want him to be. So
right, it was an origin story by the end.
Yeah, they said that there's definitely more to come. So looking forward to what's next in the story. There's some big hints that they dropped in the movie already about what could be on the way. Right. But whatever it is, I think we're going to get some more great movies from Tom Holland as Spider-Man going forward.
Yeah, I like the ending too. Like it was kind of a darker ending in the sense that like no one like knows him anymore. That kind of thing.
Would you have gone back for Zendaya though?
Of course, like the TikToks and everyone was saying like Peter Parker a better man than me because I would have been in there.
Oh
crying.
Yeah, I would be in there crying. It's me,
please. No,
ain't no way can't let that go. Yeah, he wrong for that. But knowing the whole Spider-Man thing, if there's the what's the other girl's name? Not Mary Jane. What's the other one? God, I blanked on her name.
Like the one who Emma Stone played, like Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy. If she's on the way, if he has his own Gwen Stacy on the way, he'll be all right.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine. Like and just like how it ended, I'm excited to see like where it goes next. Like I'm already
there's a lot of possibilities. So
where the next
looking forward to it all, and definitely happy with what we got. So great things on TV right now. But while we talk about TV, I guess ending on a somber note, television wise, we lost two great actors recently in Betty White and Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Both of them were somewhat unexpected. We were ready to celebrate Betty White turning 100 right before the new year, and she sadly passed. And Bob Saget, nobody saw that coming at all.
Yeah.
He was
like 65.
For those that knew him follow him a little more closely, I guess he may have had some health issues in the past potentially. But they said he had a heart attack recently and passed I guess last week. So very, very sad situations for both. Rest in peace to both of them. And thank you for all that they gave to us while they were here. So we definitely were fans of theirs and appreciated what they did on screen for us and off, because they were definitely great in both aspects. So just salute to them.
Absolutely, major rest in peace to both of them. I wasn't a huge I didn't see a whole lot of Betty White's stuff. Like it obviously saw her in her older age.
Yeah.
But Bob Saget, I mean, I used to watch Full House so much, like as a kid, like on ABC Family, just the reruns of it. And then it was like shocking, like a stark contrast to see him like cussing and stuff and other things
exactly.
after that. So you just see him as Danny Tanner or whatever,
Right.
and then you see him like dropping F-bombs and stuff and other things.
It was
like,
dope. I'm glad he allowed himself to just stay stuck in one role. Like he was able to be versatile and go from one thing to the other. So yeah, definitely appreciate all he gave to us. And yeah, again, just rest in peace to both of them. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Salute to that. And then we talked about that's all the things going on TV wise. Quickly going to the music side. A couple of albums dropped recently that are getting some mixed reviews. Gunna's album DS Forever just came out. People were mad that the one snippet that went viral for everybody, the Banking on Me track, didn't come out originally as projected. I guess he has a deluxe coming out shortly that it'll be on. It was, I guess, released earlier than it was supposed to. A couple of days ago, and they immediately snatched it down. But it'll be back up hopefully in the near future. But with Gunna and that album, there were high hopes, and it did numbers actually, which I was surprised by. It sold a lot. But for the project itself, did you hear it, and what did you think of Gunna's latest project?
Yeah, I've never been like a big Gunna guy, so like I didn't listen to it in full. I listened to like the first few tracks or so, and it sounded good. I just like he doesn't like, he's not someone that like resonates with me like his music. So like it was cool. Like it had a dope sound. I think for the most part, it seemed like people are enjoying it, especially like that Pushin' P record with Young Thug.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was just cool.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it a lot. I've been playing it a lot more than I expected. I'm somewhat of a fan of Gunna. Like he's someone that when he drops, I'll add him to the rotation a little bit. But I didn't think he'd be someone that drops an album and he's all I listen to for a little while. And that's kind of what it's been. When I've gone to the gym, as I've gone back to that, I've been listening to that in the gym. It was nice, even though it's not really a vibe like that. It's a little bit more, somewhat slower for his style. But even still, yeah, really enjoy it all. I'm looking forward to the deluxe. If the Drake song's on there or not, whatever, I think even what we got so far is really good and deserving of the praise that it's gotten. So yeah, salute to him for that. And what was somebody said the other day? Young Thug couldn't have found a better prodigy, and I agree with that. Him and if Gunna and Lil Baby are supposed to be the little Young Thug clones, Young Thug did a great job. And they're doing great right now, carrying the torch. So yeah, definitely enjoying that project right now. The other one that got a lot of praise and backlash actually was the Weeknd, who dropped the same day. The Weeknd dropped his Don FM album, which is like I guess part of another trilogy he's putting out. And a lot of folks love it, but then as I've seen, as it's kind of been his whole career, once he drops a good album, it gets some praise. Weeknd fans go too far and say he's Michael Jackson, and then all the hate comes in. So it's a good album. I enjoy it. But as soon as fans start saying Michael Jackson, I'm like, yo, no, we're not doing it. But people are continuing to try to make that comparison. But I understand the comparison sonically, but I think there's still just levels to the two.
Sure.
But what did you think of Don FM? And do you think this album is Thriller level, as Timbaland said the other day?
I'm with you. Timbaland honestly might not be far off. It's just hard to say that like a day or two after it came out.
That too.
But, like, to be honest, like sonically, it was kind of crazy. Like when I first listened to it, I was like, "This music is really good. Like this is a really good album." But yeah, to a classic album like that, you can't just like drop the next day that this is maybe better than Thriller.
Yeah, no, it's hard. Come on now.
That's something that has to like grow on people.
Absolutely.
And it may get there eventually years down the line.
And it's a small thing, but not only was Thriller the album amazing, but it has an iconic cover to it as well.
Yeah.
On that film, I don't really like this cover.
No, I didn't understand, and maybe I missed it in the music because I only listened to it one time, but I didn't understand.
That was my thing too. I'm not fully understanding of his concept. I don't listen to Weeknd enough to get all the stuff he's doing with that. So for him to have it on the cover, I was like, this is kind of a small knock on the album to me. So that kind of threw me off. But
it sounded like great music.
It is good.
I'm definitely gonna listen to it more.
Yeah,
and enjoy it more. I think I enjoyed it more than a couple of his more recent albums. Like his
Right.
previous album, I haven't really gone back to much.
After Hours, I would go back a little bit.
Yeah, I
Starboy,
love
not really.
Trilogy. What else? Oh, Beauty Beyond the Madness is probably like the last album
Right.
that I
That was
really
a good one.
loved of his.
Yeah.
But some of like Starboy I wasn't a huge fan of, and then the last After Hours I wasn't a huge fan of either. So,
Right.
yeah.
So yeah, well, if this is, I guess I don't know if this is the end of the trilogy and kind of Starboy is that, or if he's implying there's another album coming alongside this one. But however it plays out, and we're getting great music from him and enjoying what he's doing. And I appreciate him and Gunna for what they gave to us to start the year. Already a great start music wise for 2022, and continuing to build on that quickly going forward. I think just this week we're getting Joey Badass is dropping something.
All right, yeah.
Bid and 21 Savage are dropping something with Young Baby Tate as well. Got to acknowledge her. I'm looking forward to all the women that are dropping this year. We didn't get a whole lot of tapes from the top dogs from them last year. So I think they're gearing up for this year to drop. So I'm looking forward to all that they produce for us. So Young Baby Tate with them should be really good. Corday, that's what I was
right.
Has his project dropping this week as well. So
yeah,
they showing up this year. We're in a lot of good stuff. Kendrick, we still waiting on him. With him performing at the Super Bowl, hopefully he drops before that.
True.
With us a month away, probably not, because you want to roll it out and have all that. But he's doing that, so I guess he's going to keep performing his old stuff, which is fine because it's still great. But it's long overdue for some new stuff now. Kendrick, go ahead and drop a new tape. But is what it is, and
maybe he'll play some. What's his cousin's name?
Oh, Baby Keem.
Yeah, maybe he'll play one of the Baby Keem tracks or something.
Sure, that's fine. Now I still go back to that album too. Actually, that album actually is really good. I still laugh at the first hour reactions when all them I won't say the who, but those folks were saying how bad the album was, and y'all said he was next up, and no, he actually is next up. Y'all were just hating. So really enjoy what he did, and if that's what he performs at the Super Bowl, so be it. I don't know why he'd be on stage with Dr. Dre performing that, but that's another story. But yeah, looking forward to everything that's dropping this year, and definitely going to be another great year of entertainment. So yeah, I'm on board for all of that. So great things going on in NFL, NBA, all of that. Thank you guys for coming back around and sticking with us for season 3 as we get underway. Looking forward to all that we're going to be having on the show. And that's all I got for right now. Anything else you want to mention real quick, Alec? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, let's roll up out of here, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, follow us online on IG and TikTok at section.300. Follow us on Twitter at section sports. Follow me, your boy G at just a G online. Follow Alec at LegacyFan24. Subscribe to the show wherever you listen to us or watch us on YouTube. And we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. And we'll see you guys soon. Appreciate you guys. We out of here. Peace.
Deuces.